confirmed there is no age limit to use them. That means a minor from a nearby school could walk in and legally inject fentanyl under this Liberal policy.
New Brunswick went full woke. If you live in New Brunswick and you're conservative, I would sell anything, everything, and just move immediately. David Cochrane from CBC had a complete meltdown online, and then right after, he deleted his social media account. How is a CBC anchor gonna get his news from the #1 news app if it's deleted? We're gonna take a look at it. All I have to say is bye-bye, David. You will not be missed. Liberals announce in question period, not answer period. They don't answer anything. Question period. That they don't want it to be televised anymore. They don't want us seeing them not answer any questions. How do you feel about that? We never see Mark Carney. He was only in the House of Commons once this week, got completely humiliated, and he hasn't been back since. He plans on flying on a jet plane for the rest of the year and not even show up in the House of Commons. So if they don't televise it, we won't be missing him, that's for sure. Mark Carney's name was found in the Epstein files 69 times, but that is not even the story. I'm actually shocked with what the Liberals have done now. And nothing really shocks me with the Liberals anymore. I've gone numb. But then I saw what happened today and I'm like, wow. I have never in my life seen anything like this. Kids. Safe pokey sites for kids. Absolute insanity. Let's get into this report.
I'm leaving on a jet plane.
We're going to start today's episode off with New Brunswick.
There's been a lot of governments taking action against X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, some of them banning it on a national level for people of a certain age. You're abandoning the platform in New Brunswick. Why did you make that decision?
Well, it's something that we've been thinking about doing for quite some time because we've just seen it used to be a forum for more dialogue, and we used to see better engagement and back and forth with New Brunswickers on the platform, but that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. And then our child and youth advocate also made the recommendation that government be off the platform. So that was another straw on the pile, as they say. And look, we want to go where the conversations are vibrant and diverse. We want to go where New Brunswickers are, and that's not Twitter anymore.
Hold up. Does she know that X is the #1 news app on the planet? #1 in Canada, #1 around the entire world, #1 app that's downloaded, and she's going to get her employees and the government not to use the #1 news app? Where are they going to get their news? Suzanne Holt's like, it's not a platform for dialogue anymore. Well, this is what happens, Suzanne. Our government spends $1.4 billion to fund mainstream media to provide us daily fake news, and Canadians go on to X to find real news and what's really going on. And yes, there's a whole lot of outrage out there because of the amount of misinformation and disinformation that we are fed on a daily basis. There's way too much truth happening on the platform. So Premier Holt doesn't want to be held accountable with facts and data. So they decide that they're not going to be providing any important government information so that it will not get scrutinized. People will just need to trust the science. They're going to have to trust the government. You know, I'm surprised. I really thought Nova Scotia was the biggest woke caca pile because it was the first people to ban every single person from entering their forests since 1325. 800 years ago. It turns out it's actually New Brunswick. That is the biggest woke caca pile in Canada. You won the prize, and this is not a prize I would want to win. I'm a data guy, so we're going to take a look at some data, but first, we're going to hear from Elon Musk on his platform X.
So what we're doing on the X platform is we are aggregating, we're using AI to sum up the aggregated input from millions of users. So, I think this is really going to be the new model of news, which is to gather information from people who are at the scene, who are experts in the field, and summarize the experts in the field and people who are in the field at whatever event is being talked about, and aggregate that into a real-time newsfeed. And I think for the most part that will be better than conventional journalism. There's still a role for conventional journalism, but it's
Well, someone's got to pay for them, right?
Sorry?
Someone has to pay for it to happen, right?
Well, not necessarily. Like if you look at the X system, and you've got tens of millions of posts per day, which really are all the news content on Earth is, but a far more than what you would find in a newspaper is being generated on the system every day. If you aggregate that in real time, now you've got real-time aggregation of the collective wisdom of tens of millions of people.
Is that why you think truth-seeking is so important in AI?
Yeah, it's one of the reasons. It's also on the X system, although something may be said that is incorrect, it is very quickly corrected. Whereas a newspaper that is publishing, especially in print form, is publishing what happened yesterday, today. That's, it can't publish any faster than that. And when you read the article, that article could be wrong, often is wrong, but there's no rebuttal to the article. So you don't see any real-time rebuttal. So I think, like I said, there's still a role for conventional news, but it's smaller and smaller over time. It's really what AI is doing and what the internet is doing is aggregating the wisdom of the people.
No.
And the fact is that experts in a field know more than reporters.
You wouldn't want real-time news that was able to be corrected by the public with experts. That would be a no-no. What we want is mainstream media shoving their news down our throats on a daily basis with zero scrutiny and zero correction. X is the future with AI, where tens of millions of people are live feeding the app, creating live news that is judged by the people. X also has a feature called Community Notes. Let's take a look. And just yesterday, they launched a brand new feature. We're launching something new called Collaborative Notes. The idea is when you request a note, AI drafts one. Then the community refines it together through rating and suggestions. You could watch it get better in real time. The whole new way for the public to work with AI and each other to make information more accurate, and a whole new way to contribute to community notes. For now, only requests from the top writers on English language post generated collaborative notes, and you must have 2 writing impacts to make a suggestion. We plan on expanding that and shape the experience based on your feedback. As usual, it's all open source. And politicians really do not like these community notes. For example, here's Keir Starmer. I know you're worried about the level of illegal migration into this country. Digital ID is another way to make it tougher for work illegally here, making our borders more secure. Ours is a fairer Britain, built on change, not division. Reader added context. It's already a requirement to have a work visa for most people to work in the UK. Illegal migrants do not have a work visa yet. The problem exists that they work illegally, cash in hand. Digital IDs do not stop illegals working, which this post suggests it would. Wow. And I see community notes on our federal officials all the time. They really do not like full transparency. Now, the data. Let's go over to Suzanne Holt's X account, and she posted on her X here. We've been carefully considering how we use social media, specifically X, as a government for some time. Social media is a tool that we use to keep New Brunswickers informed quickly and directly. However, recent concerns raised about X operation are deeply troubling. Protecting the safety and well-being of young people is a core responsibility of the government. We recognize that the platform's recent history, including reports of harmful content and inadequate safeguards, has eroded trust that it could be used in any way that aligns with our values and obligations to New Brunswickers. Given these serious concerns, our government will no longer use X for routine communications. Stay tuned and please visit our other social media platforms. This is the most important part. Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky. Blue Sky, can you believe it? And look, she linked her Blue Sky app right at the top so people could go over and follow her on Blue Sky. First of all, you have to be 17 in order to download X. Additionally, her troubling concerns were dealt with. There was a 2-week period where bikinis were put on everybody, and that was the growing concern. But X put a stop to it. And of course, there's going to be growing pains as there's new technology that comes out. She sees this as a perfect opportunity to avoid accountability. Let's talk about Blue Sky now. It's rated 3.8. That is like a trash rating. Nobody's on Blue Sky unless you are a far left extremist. When you tweet, it gets put out into an empty echo chamber. Here's a great set of data from Borders here. There's approximately 870,000 people that live in New Brunswick. There's approximately 300 to 400,000 X users and only 20,000 to 40,000 Blue Sky users. So the government thinks cutting off communication with nearly half of the population is a good idea. Where did this information come from? Grok AI provided the data. By the way, on the app, if you mention Donald Trump even once in a positive way, you will be immediately deleted, not found. This person, and it's all over the internet. Blue Sky last week, I lasted only a week. Man, oh man, they have some serious Trump derangement syndrome over there. There's a reason that people don't like Blue Sky because it is not a free speech platform. What I find absolutely hilarious is Blue Sky pays Elon Musk a monthly fee so that they can publish and promote Blue Sky. Blue Sky is so dead that they have to post on X to promote it. Here's an interesting data set. Here is the daily posters. There was so much excitement for this app. There's only 700,000 daily unique posters on this app. It's basically morbid. The reason that there was a little bit of a jump of late is because of the Minnesota issue. But outside of that, the thing is collapsing. So we know on Blue Sky, there's 700,000 estimated posts per day. On X, there is 500 million posts made on X every single day. Now, let's move on to David Cochrane. He actually got in a fight with someone online. One of my favorite X accounts made a post with David Cochrane with his own words, and David Cochrane lost it on this account. It is unbelievable how unprofessional this man is. Let me explain the situation. CBC watchers, he does all the clips, does a great job, by the way, of CBC, and then wrote word for word what was said inside the clip. That really pissed off David Cochrane. And he said, my exact words is, I'm not asking these questions because I think China is a great and reliable partner, which is precisely the opposite point this intellectual, dishonest S-bag of an account falsely tries to portray here. Let's see the clip he is referring to. Who's lying?
No. Okay, I get those concerns, and I'm not asking these questions. I think China is a great, reliable partner. I just wonder how the different models work. But look, while this is happening, look, I get those concerns, and I'm not asking these questions. I think China is a great, reliable partner. I just wonder how the different models work. But
Busted. Look, even the transcript doesn't have because. It says, I think China is a great, reliable partner. It's because he's talking Mark Carney's talking points and got busted. But this just shows what kind of quality person he is. He doesn't own up to his own mistakes. Because of his meltdown with CBC watchers, he has officially announced that he is going to be leaving X. He's deleting his account, but he can't delete his account. Let's see what he says. This account will no longer be monitored or active. DMs will no longer be checked. I've tried to deactivate, but X makes it difficult. And I don't want an imposter to steal my username, but I'm abandoning this platform entirely. Thank you for your attention to this matter. He actually even spoke like Donald Trump. He's having a full meltdown. And he's a man of his word. He's completely locked down. His X account is completely locked as of right now. I'm just wondering how long we have to wait for the rest of the CBC clan to announce that they're leaving X as well. And overall, most people are doing this right now. They're like, bye-bye, see you later, David. We actually didn't even notice you were on X. And I wrote, why stop at leaving at X? Leaving CBC would be the next best thing. All right, let's have a poll. What do you think? How long will David Cochrane be off X for? He's not deleting his account. He says it's so hard. All you have to do is press delete. I don't want somebody to steal my username. Well, that might be the truth. The only reason that he wants to keep his username is probably because he wants to stay. He's just puffing his chest and acting tough. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Kevin Lamoureux says, to the benefit of all Canadians, maybe we should just stop recording the House of Commons question period altogether.
The only way in which I could see something of this nature working is if, in fact, you had written questions. Some parliaments have done that. So you have to provide the written questions in advance. The government then responds to it in terms of a question period. Outside of that, maybe taking away the television cameras during question period. I'd be interested in his thoughts on both.
How transparent of this liberal to make that recommendation. But I think I know why he doesn't want House of Commons question period to be not televised. Check out his unhinged rant today, right after he made that recommendation, after the Conservatives mentioned that our economy lost 58,000 private sector jobs in the month of January alone, in just 1 month.
Agree with the member opposite. Enough of the rhetoric. Yeah. The Conservative Party genuinely is more their self-interest is in the Conservative Party. It's time that you start thinking about Canadians. Yes. When you talk about investments, think about it. The first 5 major projects, over $60 billion of investment. Every region of this nation is going to benefit because we have a Prime Minister and a government that works for Canadians day in and day out. Conservative Party of Canada, get on side. Yeah.
Mark Carney has a message for our Olympic team in Italy.
Good luck, Team Canada. You've earned this moment. After long days and late nights, through discipline, sacrifice, and relentless effort, you're ready to compete at the highest level. And our country is right behind you. In a more divided and uncertain world, your success will unite Canadians from coast to coast to coast and remind us that we are part of something bigger. You're wearing the maple leaf with pride in the Olympics and the Paralympics. Thank you. Thank you for inspiring us and for demonstrating to Canadians and to the world the very best of Canada. Your country is with you. Canadians are with you. This is your moment, and it's our celebration of what makes you and Canada great.
Are you kidding me right now? Instead of just giving a great message to our athletes, he has to throw in there that we're in a dangerous and divided world. Every speech he makes, he has to add that in. This is not the time, Mr. Carney. And the only time we heard that this was a dangerous and divided world and these tanks and all these things are coming and we're getting invaded is since he showed up in our lives. Before that, we were just fine. And when he's gone, we're going to be just fine as well. I asked everybody on Twitter today, Mark Carney claims we're in a dangerous and divided world. Take the poll. Yes, we are much more dangerous. Only 7.3%. Same as always. Basically 7%, so that's tied. Liberals are bat-ass crazy. 35% fear to get votes. 50%. He has to add that in because without the fear of Donald Trump, they can't run on their track record. They have to drum up fear. Great chart here from Kirk Lubanoff on X. The raw data for Canada's labor force stats January 2026 are horrific. The private sector has lost 250,000 jobs, and the public sector has only lost 10,200 jobs. The private sector hasn't had growth since April, since he became prime minister. Can you believe it? I do. So as you can see, not getting that deal with Donald Trump, as Mark Carney promised, election promise, is really hurting Canada. There's a hot mic moment at Stephen Harper's speech. He says that we can't blame Donald Trump for the mess that we're currently in. It's because of our own very own government.
In too many cases, they stem from bad decisions by our own government.
Canada has to rapidly reduce.
You heard it on CTV. Stephen Harper is right. It's our own government causing all our problems. It has nothing to do with Orange Man bad. If they just got out of the way and allowed us to prosper, build pipelines, not have this one project of national interest, just get out of the way, government, and we will flourish. We would not even have all these separation talks. This government is bad. Mark Carney's name appeared 69 times in the latest release of the Epstein files, according to Grok. Pierre Poilievre is listed 0 times. I don't think Mark Carney is involved in any of this. Well, to be honest with you, we have no idea. He is a global elite, but I'm not going to speculate. He is listed 69 times, however. And after the news broke out on X, CTV had to come out to the rescue and says, yes, Mark Carney is in the Epstein files, but here's why. And this is what I have to say now that CTV has come out. Being mentioned in the Epstein files 69 times is not the story. The story is how fast the media rushes in to save Mark Carney. This is when the questions start, not when the questions are answered. Because they came so fast to the rescue. Now I have a whole lot of questions. Why do I have all these questions? Because the Canadian media was caught on camera admitting that they purposely are going easy on Mark Carney and helping the Liberals stay in power. It was published on CPAC, and then they scrubbed the segment from the internet, completely deleting it. But thankfully, X exists and people clipped it, and now it lives on. Check this out.
And Prime Minister, know that every person in this room and the 180,000 people who work in this industry have your back, just as we know that you have ours.
Wow, 180,000 employees have the Liberal and Mark Carney's back. We have a lot of questions, Canada. This is my last segment. You're not going to want to miss this one. The thing that they're allowing our children to do is going to blow your mind.
Ms. Weber, does Health Canada set an age requirement on who can access all federally approved supervised consumption sites? Yes or no?
Health Canada does the approval for the exemption request, which is an exemption from the CDSA, or the Substances Act, and that allows for an individual to go into the site with possession of a substance and use it in a supervised location.
Is there an age
Health
requirement
Canada
on
does
that?
not set an age limit. Some of the sites may have policies
Yeah,
and
but
procedures.
not federal regulations. Like there's
Health
no
Canada
federal-
provides the exemption for to be allowed to have possession of the product in the site,
There's
but we
no-
do not determine an age. Health Canada does not have an age limit in legislation.
Thank you. If a 16-year-old enters the federally approved consumption site, is there any requirement from Health Canada that prohibits that minor from injecting at that site? Yes or no?
If there's an individual who's seeking help from a supervised consumption site, there are health practitioners and individuals in that site that will support them and help prevent an overdose.
So if a 16-year-old comes in, there's no requirements around age? If a 16, 17-year-old comes in?
When an individual
Federally?
who's in need goes to a supervised consumption site to prevent an overdose, they are not asked their age.
So minors can consume hard in a federally approved consumption site?
If there's an individual who's going to seek help, and the supervised consumption site also provides wraparound services, and it can be an entranceway into treatment, recovery, and also housing for that individual, regardless of the age.
Hard to fathom, isn't it? That was Health Canada being asked questions. Now this is the House of Commons today.
Madam Speaker, yesterday Health Canada officials revealed at committee that there are no age requirements at federally approved injection sites. In fact, Health Canada revealed there isn't even a requirement for ID. That means minors can legally use in these consumption sites under Liberal law. The Health Minister approves supervised injection sites through the Controlled Substances Act. Why are the Liberals allowing minors to inject hard under their watch?
The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Madam Speaker, I thank the member opposite for the question. As a father of two young children, 15 and 17, I know how important it is to ensure that we think about the health and safety of our children and our youth. We'll work hard in ensuring that they are not in any danger of moving forward, and that's what we'll continue to do on this side of the House, and I really look forward to working with both sides of the House to ensure the safety of our young children moving forward.
The Honourable Member for Riding Mountain.
Madam Speaker, the Health Minister approves these injection sites. And her own officials confirmed there is no age limit to use them. That means a minor from a nearby school could walk in and legally inject fentanyl under this Liberal policy. If the Health Minister doesn't think minors should be injecting at these sites that she approved, why doesn't the Minister stop them today?
Hear, hear. The Honourable Parliamentary Secretary.
Madam Speaker, I welcome the member's question. I will work with him after the question period to find a solution with that member, and I thank him for the question once again.
A solution. A solution. This is an easy solution. It's called no. Get the kids help right away. Help them. Don't allow them to go in there with all of these old people sitting there encouraging, selling them. I don't know what's going on. This is pure insanity. That's it for today's report. What do you think about Suzanne Holt in New Brunswick? First, it's the forest. Now they're no longer communicating on X. Is the rest of the provinces going to do the same? Is Mark Carney going to ban X? X is the only free speech platform we have left in this world. And it's moving at record speed. We're able to communicate together and use AI as well and do those wonderful community notes. They don't like X. There's way too much transparency. Will David Cochrane come back on X after he's blown a little bit of steam? What's your thought? I give him a month. What do you think about the Liberals saying they don't want a televised question period anymore? They don't answer any questions in question period anyway, but it just shows how they just don't want to be transparent. Doesn't really matter. Mark Carney's going to be flying on a jet plane all year. I can't wait to report for all of you how much time he spends burning jet fuel. Mark Carney is named 69 times in the Epstein file. It doesn't mean anything. I'm not even insinuating. What I am more concerned about is mainstream media coming to the rescue. Very suspicious. What do you think about the Liberals allowing kids in these safe zones? I think kids should not be even close to any of these zones. And if you see a kid there, immediately give them medical help. We need to save our children across this country, not encourage them to go to facilities and help them do that type of thing. I don't know what's happening in this country, but we need to save it. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel for the daily epic videos. I'll see you on the next report.
I hate to go.